Achievements of the Egyptians. Script. The Egyptian script was known as hieroglyphic, meaning sacred writing. So the Egyptian script, the Egyptian system of writing, it was known as the hieroglyphic, and this word, it means sacred writing. Sacred means holy or divine. It consisted of signs or pictures, each representing an idea. So in this script, in the hieroglyphic script, the ideas were represented either through signs or pictures. They used to write with reed pens on the leaves of a plant known as papyrus. Now this reed, it is a plant, it is a grass-like plant, and the reed pen, it was made out of the straw of this reed plant. So the straw of the reed plant was cut to make it into a pen, into the reed pen, and with this reed pen, the signs, these pictures were written on the plant, on the leaves of a plant which is known as the papyrus. In fact, the word paper has come from papyrus. So the word paper which we use today has come from the word papyrus. Now here you can see this is a hieroglyphic script. So these are the various different signs and symbol pictures, and these were written with the help of the reed pen. Mathematics. The Egyptians were great mathematicians. They represented numbers from 1 to 9 by one sign and repeated the same to get the required number. So the Egyptians, they were good at maths, and just like the Mesopotamians, even the Egyptians, they represented numbers from 1 to 9 with a single sign. They used the same sign, but they repeated the same sign in order to represent numbers from 1 to 9. They also had different signs for 10 and its multiples, which made it easy for them to add or subtract. So for numbers from 1 to 9, they had the same sign, but for 10 and for the multiples of 10, they had different signs. They could calculate the areas of rectangles and triangles, and they knew how to calculate the area of a rectangle and triangle. Solar calendar. Now calendars, they are mainly of two types, solar and lunar. Solar, it is based on the position of sun in relation to the stars, whereas lunar, it is based on the moon's cycle of the moon phases. The Egyptians developed the world's first solar calendar. So the Egyptians were the ones who developed world's first solar calendar. They concluded that the year had 365 days, and they found out that a year had 365 days. It was based on two things. First, the average period between two successive floods in the river Nile, which was 365 days, and second, the appearance of a star Sirius in the sky after 365 days. So the Egyptians, they found out that a year had 365 days, and how did they find out? They found it out based on two things. The first one was about on the basis of the period between two successive floods. Now the river Nile, it used to flood every year, and this flood, the time period between two successive floods, successive means coming one after the other, so the time period between two floods was 365 days. So this is how they knew that it is consisted of 365 days. And from another thing, that is the appearance of a star Sirius. Now there was a star known as the Sirius, and it appeared in the sky after every 365 days. So this is how the Egyptians got to know that a year is consisted of 365 days. They then divided the year into 12 months, with each month having 30 days. 5 more days were added for religious festivals. So these 365 days, they divided this year into 12 months, each month having 30 days. So that makes 12 into 30, 360, and 5 more days were added for religious festivals. So that is how we get 365 days in a year. Medicine. Next is their contribution of Egyptians in the field of medicine. The Egyptians were aware of the human anatomy, and one of their books provides a detailed analysis of the human circulatory system. So, the Egyptians, they knew about the human anatomy. Anatomy, it is a study of any organism. It is a study of the structure or the organs which are there in an organism. So, the Egyptians, they knew about the human anatomy, they knew about the human structure, and also one of their books which was written by the Egyptians, it gives a detailed study of the human circulatory system. Circulatory system, the human circulatory system is a system which consists, it is a network of blood vessels and the heart. It shows the circulation of blood in the body. The way by which the Egyptians used to preserve the bodies of the dead by mummification is a marvel of science. The process shows their knowledge of human body and their skill in surgery. Now, the mummification process which was done by the Egyptians was always a wonder of science, and this mummification process, it shows their knowledge. It shows the knowledge of the Egyptians in the human body and also their skill in surgery. Decline of the civilization. Now we'll see how the Egyptian civilization began to decline. By 1000 BCE, the great Egyptian civilization began to decline. It was invaded by foreign powers from the south of Egypt in Africa and the new powers across the Mediterranean Sea. So by 1000 BCE, the Egyptian civilization began to decline. It began to fall, and Egypt, it was invaded. It was conquered by foreign powers who came from Africa and the Mediterranean Sea. Consequently, it became a part of the empire of the Assyrians, the Persians, and the Romans in quick succession. So, gradually, as a result of this invasion, it became a part of the empire of Assyrians, Persians, and the Romans. So, this is how the civilization began to decline. So today we learnt about the achievements of the Egyptians, about their religious beliefs, and also about the decline of the civilization. So we have completed this chapter. The question answers were already sent to you. Make sure you learn the question answers and also the words to know. And the exercises in your textbooks, make sure you complete the exercises. So that's all for today, girls. Thank you.